I poured myself a cup of coffee and glanced across the table at Anna. "Would you pass the butter?" I asked, smiling. She did, but not without a sigh. "Here, I guess." Her tone felt off, but I waved it away. "Morning, Dad," I said cheerfully, lifting my mug. "Morning, son," he replied, ruffling my hair. "Sleep well?" "Yeah, perfect," I said. "How about you, Mom?" "Busy as always," she chuckled. "But breakfast is ready, so no complaints today." Anna muttered something under her breath, and I caught it just barely. "What was that?" She shook her head. "Nothing. Just thinking." I nodded, assuming she was tired. The table was full of warmth, laughter spilling over as Dad told a story about his childhood, Mom chiming in with teasing remarks, Emily giggling in the corner. I felt that comfortable bubble of happiness, the kind you never think could burst. "Anna, you're awfully quiet today," I said. "I'm fine," she replied, rolling her eyes slightly. "Just tired of all this family drama." "Drama?" I asked, raising an eyebrow. "Nothing, really," she said quickly, looking away. But her tone made me pause. Emily noticed too. "Are you okay, Anna?" she asked softly. Anna forced a smile. "Yeah, I'm fine," I smiled, believing her. "Come on, it's just breakfast, relax." But even as I said it, a small, nagging feeling tickled my mind. I pushed it aside. Maybe she really was tired. The conversation shifted to Dad's work stories and Emily's new project at school. Anna nodded occasionally, but there was that look again, the one that felt like she was somewhere else entirely. "Do you want to leave early today?" she suddenly asked, sipping her tea. I blinked. "Leave early? But it's only breakfast." I said I'm tired of all this family drama. "Maybe we should just go home after this," she explained. I frowned. "Is something wrong?" "No, I just don't feel like sticking around," she muttered. Her fingers tapped on the table impatiently. I studied her face, searching for a clue. "Are you sure it's nothing?" "You seem off lately," she waved her hand dismissively. I said I'm fine. "Can we not make a big deal out of it?" I wanted to believe her. I always wanted to believe her. "Okay," I said cautiously. "If you're sure." Mom glanced between us, frowning slightly. "Anna, everything all right?" "I'm fine, really," Anna said again, her voice a little sharper this time. "Can we just eat?" Dad raised an eyebrow but let it go, chuckling. Must be one of those mornings. I tried to ignore the unease creeping up inside me. "So, Emily, how's your project coming along?" I asked, changing the topic. As we spoke, I couldn't help but notice Anna's eyes flick toward the window, distant, almost calculating. I brushed it off. Maybe she was just tired, but then she muttered again, "I don't know why I even bother sometimes, just low enough for me to hear." I froze. "What was that?" "Nothing," she snapped, smiling too quickly. "Forget it." I nodded slowly, unsure what to make of it. My family seemed puzzled too, but no one pressed further. I forced a laugh, tried to shake it off, telling myself it was nothing. As we finished breakfast, Anna leaned toward me. "Let's go," she whispered. "I can't take another minute here." I hesitated, studying her face. "Are you serious?" "Yes, let's just leave," she urged, grabbing her coat. I followed her, heart twisting a little. Something was off. I didn't know what, but I couldn't shake the feeling that my perfect little world was already starting to crack. I was passing by the living room when I heard her voice, low, sharp, different. Anna was on the phone. I paused, thinking she was talking to a friend until I caught a few words. "Yeah, they're ridiculous. They think they can control everything. He's so gullible." My stomach dropped. I stepped closer, pretending not to listen, but every word hit me like a punch. And of course, it's all his fault that they meddle. If only he could see sense. I froze. That was me she was blaming. My hands tightened at my sides. "Anna?" I said quietly. She jumped, covering the phone. "Oh, I didn't hear you come in." I couldn't believe what I heard," I said, my voice shaking. "Were you talking about my family?" She laughed lightly, a little too quickly. "I wasn't talking about anyone in particular, just work stuff." "Work? Anna, I heard you." "You were insulting my parents." I felt my chest tighten. "And me, you were blaming me." She waved her hand dismissively. "You're overreacting. Calm down, I was just venting. Everyone vents sometimes, right?" "Venting? Calling my family ridiculous and saying I'm gullible?" My voice rose despite my efforts. "That's not venting." Anna tilted her head, eyes narrowing. I don't know why you're making a scene. I said it was nothing. I stepped closer. Nothing? Nothing? I've always trusted you, Anna. And now you're behind my back making them think I'm the problem? She crossed her arms. I don't make anyone think anything. Maybe they've noticed things for themselves. I stared at her, disbelief and hurt mingling together. Are you serious? You're gaslighting me right now. Gaslighting? Come on. You're imagining things. I can't control what they think. I never said anything directly to anyone, she said smoothly. I ran a hand through my hair. I just can't understand this. Why would you do that? Was I not enough for you? Anna looked away, silent for a moment. Then she shrugged. I don't like unnecessary tension. They judge everything. My hands shook. So you insult them behind my back instead of telling me? That's how you handle it? Don't make me out to be the villain here. I'm not trying to hurt anyone, she said, voice almost sweet. But I didn't buy it. I could barely think straight. Then why did it sound so personal? Why blame me? Anna laughed softly. You hear what you want. I said nothing of the sort. I felt like the room was spinning. I don't know what's worse, your betrayal or the fact that you don't even seem to care. The next day, during breakfast, my parents' words stabbed at me more than I expected. Anna seems distant these days, Mom said casually, buttering her toast. Dad nodded. Yeah, she's quiet. Everything okay between you two? I forced a laugh, my stomach twisting. Yeah, we're fine, Emily tilted her head. Are you sure? You look worried, I smiled tightly. Just a lot on my mind, that's all. Inside, I was furious. How could they not know? How could they not see it? But then I realized Anna had played her part well. No one suspected her, and somehow I was left doubting myself. That night, I confronted her again. Anna, we need to talk, I said. What about? She asked, casually scrolling her phone. You know exactly what I mean. I heard you. On the phone. About my family. Her eyes flicked up, cool and unbothered. You must be mistaken. I didn't say anything bad. Stop it, I shouted. Don't deny it. Don't twist this. I know what I heard. She sighed, leaning back. You're overthinking. Maybe you're just too sensitive. I'm not your enemy, you know. I don't know what to believe anymore, I admitted, voice low. I want to trust you, but... Trust me, she interrupted softly. I wouldn't do anything to hurt you. Stop reading too much into things, I looked at her, my mind spinning. Could I really be imagining this? Or was she already 2 steps ahead, making me doubt everything? Later, alone in my room, I replayed every word, every glance, every whisper. The betrayal settled like a stone in my chest. I didn't know how to fix it, or if I even could. I watched Anna across the table, smiling at my parents, but something felt off. Every laugh seemed measured, every compliment fake. Did you finish the report, honey? Dad asked, glancing at me. Yes, I did, I said, proud. Anna's laugh cut in. Oh, he thinks he did. Honestly, it's so messy, I can't believe anyone would let it slide. I froze. What do you mean? She smiled, innocent on the surface. I'm just saying it could have been better. I'm trying to help, that's all, I wanted to shout, but my parents only blinked, unsure how to react. Later, Liam called. You okay? You sounded off last night. I don't know, Liam. I think she's trying to turn everyone against me, I admitted. You've noticed the patterns, right? He said. She isolates you, makes small comments, sows doubt. You need proof before you act. Proof? I muttered. I just feel humiliated. How can I live like this? Calm down, observe, document. Don't confront blindly. You'll thank me later, Liam advised. I hung up, heart pounding. He was right. I had to step back, watch, and understand her game. That evening, another family dinner. Anna sat beside me, whispering in my ear. Try not to mess up this time, she murmured. I clenched my fork. Excuse me? She smiled sweetly. I said don't make a fool of yourself. I wouldn't want everyone laughing at you again. I wanted to disappear. My mother's frown barely registered, Dad's confusion growing. Anna, that's uncalled for, I said quietly. Relax. I'm just being honest, she said, a glint in her eyes. Emily leaned toward me. Are you okay? I forced a smile. Yeah, fine. After dinner, I confronted her in the kitchen. Why do you do this? Why put me down in front of everyone? It's not like that, she said, shrugging. I'm just being realistic. You need to hear the truth. The truth? The truth is you're humiliating me, I snapped. She laughed softly. You always think it's humiliation. Sometimes it's perspective. You're too sensitive. I couldn't argue anymore. My mind was spinning, heartbreak mixing with rage. Over the next few days, patterns emerged. At a cousin's party, she whispered, I don't know why he even tries. To my aunt, she commented, he really doesn't understand, does he? Each word cut deeper. Each glance from her held calculated superiority. My family started questioning me, subtly, and I felt cornered. One night, Liam called again. You've got to act smart. Gather messages, record conversations. If you confront her now, she'll just twist it. Don't let her win. I want to confront her, I said, voice raw. I want her to know how much she's hurt me. Wait, let her show her colors first. Then you can strike, Liam said firmly. I realized he was right. I couldn't act impulsively anymore. I had to watch, to be patient, to let her reveal who she truly was. Later, at a small family dinner, Anna did it again. You really think you're good at hosting? She whispered to my sister, loud enough for me to hear. It's amateurish, honestly. I froze. Everyone's eyes flicked toward me. My face burned. I opened my mouth, but Anna's smile held me in place, confident, untouchable. Afterwards, I couldn't stop thinking. This wasn't just tension or stress. This was deliberate. She was showing me and everyone her control. That night, I lay in bed, mind racing. I couldn't fight blindly anymore. I had to plan. I had to observe. I had to understand her game before I made a move. For the first time, I realized something crucial. Patience could be my weapon. I realized yelling or accusing Anna wouldn't work. She thrived on chaos, on twisting every word. I needed a different approach. Silence, patience, and proof. Anna, can you pass me the remote? I asked casually one evening, pretending not to notice her smirk. Sure, if you can find it, she replied, voice dripping sarcasm. I smiled politely, taking note of her tone. Every word, every glance I recorded in my mind and sometimes on my phone. Later, Emily leaned over. You okay? You've been quiet around her lately. I'm fine, I said. Just observing. Emily raised an eyebrow. Observing? You mean keeping track of her? I nodded slightly. Something like that, she smiled knowingly. Good. Don't let her control you. The next morning, I casually asked Anna about dinner plans. So, do you want to host Mom's birthday at our place this year? Oh, I don't know if I can handle everyone, she said, rolling her eyes. It's exhausting. I kept my tone neutral. Maybe you could invite them? Just for a small gathering? She scoffed. You know me. I'd rather avoid it. They're all so judgmental. I filed her words away silently. If she wanted to manipulate, I'd let her. But with her actions recorded, it would backfire eventually. At a weekend family brunch, she whispered to my aunt, He really doesn't know what he's doing, does he? I caught her glance and smiled politely. Excuse me? Oh, nothing, she said lightly. Just joking. Later, I discreetly showed Emily the message Anna had sent her friend about the brunch, subtly mocking our family. Emily's eyes widened. This is awful, she whispered. Thanks for showing me. I'll keep track, I said calmly. You just watch. Don't confront her yet. Liam called that night. You're doing it right. Let her expose herself piece by piece. Be patient. I feel powerful and scared at the same time, I admitted. Good. That means you're in control. Don't ruin it by acting too soon. The next family dinner became the perfect opportunity. Anna tried her usual tactic, whispering, I don't know why he even tries to cook for everyone. I stayed calm. Really? I thought you said you enjoyed helping. She blinked, caught off guard. Does meant you know it's complicated. Emily smirked subtly, and I caught Dad's curious glance. I didn't need to explain. The seed of doubt was planted. Later, Anna approached me in the kitchen. You're being petty. Why are you always twisting my words? Twisting? I asked lightly. I'm just pointing out contradictions. You said you hated cooking for everyone, but earlier you said you enjoy helping. I'm confused. Her face flushed, but she quickly masked it. You're imagining things again. I never said that, I shrugged. Maybe. I guess we'll see what everyone thinks tomorrow at lunch. That night, I reviewed everything. Recordings, texts, photos. Each piece was a puzzle, forming a clear picture of her manipulation. The more I looked, the calmer I felt. This wasn't just about exposing her. It was about reclaiming control over my own life. Emily sent me a message. "She's so arrogant. Can't wait for her to trip over herself." I smiled, replying, "Patience. The next step is her confidence shattering quietly." Days later, another small family gathering. Anna tried to twist a conversation with Mom, implying I hadn't followed through on a promise. "Are you sure that's how it happened?" I asked calmly, addressing Mom directly. Mom tilted her head. "Well, now that you mention it, he did follow through." Anna blinked, caught in her own lie. She smiled faintly, trying to recover, but the damage was done. Her arrogance began to falter under subtle scrutiny. That night, Emily whispered, "You've got her right where you want. She thinks she's winning, but she's unraveling." I leaned back, sipping my tea. Yes, she's unraveling. And I'm finally in control. Slowly, silently, but completely. Liam's advice rang in my head. Let her reveal herself. Don't rush. Patience is power. For the first time in weeks, I felt the weight on my chest lift. I wasn't reacting blindly anymore. I was building strategy, observing, letting karma do the work while keeping my hands clean. Anna's smirk no longer scared me. I had become the quiet storm gathering strength in silence, ready to expose her fully, but on my terms. I noticed it first at brunch. Anna was talking to my cousin, whispering like she always did. "He really doesn't understand these things," she said, smirking. My cousin raised an eyebrow. "Oh, that's interesting." I stayed quiet, sipping my coffee. Let her words hang there. Later, Emily nudged me under the table. "She's slipping," she whispered. "I see it," I replied. "Patience. Let her reveal herself completely." Anna turned to me with a smile. "What are you looking at? Something on your face?" "Just enjoying my coffee," I said, keeping my tone calm. Her smirk faltered slightly, and I caught the flicker of irritation in her eyes. At a family lunch the next day, she tried again. "He forgot to bring the salad," she whispered to Mom, loudly enough for me to hear. "Really?" I asked calmly. "I thought I had it all set." She blinked, momentarily thrown. "Well, maybe I misheard." Mom looked confused. "I thought you said he forgot it." Anna laughed nervously. "I must have been mistaken." "I'm sorry," I smiled softly. Let her flounder in her own web. Later, I found a letter she had secretly written detailing supposed concerns about my family. "Somehow it ended up in Mom's hands. Is this from Anna?" Mom asked, raising her eyebrows. I shrugged. "Apparently. You decide what it means." Mom frowned, reading carefully. "I don't understand why she would say these things. They seem unnecessary." I stayed silent, letting the words do the work. Anna had tried to manipulate behind my back, and now it was unraveling quietly but completely. That evening, Liam called. "You seeing the pattern? She's losing control. Keep letting it happen." "I am," I said, smiling faintly. "It's strange. I feel relief, but also conflicted. Should I intervene or let it continue? Let karma run its course. Don't get impatient. You'll know when to step in," he advised. At a small family gathering, Anna tried isolating me again. "I think he's useless at organizing events," she whispered to a family friend. I raised an eyebrow. "Useless?" She blinked, caught off guard. I just mean, he's learning," the friend frowned. "I don't think that's true. I saw him handle everything fine last week." Her face flushed and she laughed awkwardly. "Oh, well, you know me, I exaggerate sometimes." I leaned back, letting her struggle with the narrative she had tried to spin. Emily whispered later, "She's desperate." "Can you feel it?" "Yes," I admitted softly. Her confidence is cracking. Slowly, but surely. The next day, Anna tried to manipulate mutual friends. "Do you really think he can manage this project?" she asked, raising her voice just enough for me to hear. One of the friends frowned. "I thought he's done well so far." "He's reliable." Anna's smirk vanished. "Well, maybe, but sometimes reliability isn't enough." I remained calm, letting her words contradict themselves in front of everyone. Her influence was slipping, and there was nothing she could do about it. Later, alone with Emily, she said, "Do you realize how satisfying this is?" I chuckled softly. "It is, but I must stay careful. She's still dangerous if I act rashly." Emily nodded. "You've got her. She's exposing herself." Days later, a minor incident happened. She tried to blame me for a scheduling mistake, but Dad spoke up. I think he handled that just fine. Not sure why you'd say that, Anna, he said firmly, her face twisted into frustration. I didn't mean it like that. I stayed silent, savoring the scene. Karma wasn't instantaneous, but it was precise. That night, Liam called again. She's unraveling. Keep calm. Don't show triumph, but enjoy it quietly. I am, I said. Every day a little more. Every lie she's told. They're turning on her. I sat back thinking about the quiet satisfaction of seeing truth expose deceit. There was no shouting, no confrontation yet. Just patience, just observation, just letting her reveal her own nature. Her facade was crumbling. And for the first time in weeks, I felt a strange calm settle inside me. This was my plan, my silent revenge, and I was finally in control. The dining room was warm with family chatter, but my heart was steady. Tonight, everything would change. I had all the pieces, recordings, messages, photographs. Anna didn't know I was ready. Anna, would you pass me the bread? I asked casually, holding my fork. Of course, she replied, smiling, unaware. I watched her closely, noting the arrogance in her posture. It would shatter tonight. Mom glanced at me, sensing something. Are you all right, honey? I am, I said calmly. Actually, I have something to share with everyone. Anna's smile faltered slightly. What do you mean? I took a deep breath. Over the past few weeks, I've noticed some patterns. Subtle manipulations, lies. Attempts to isolate me from all of you. She blinked. What? That's ridiculous. I held my gaze steady. I wish it were. But I have proof. I pressed play on my phone. Anna's voice filled the room, whispering about my family to her friend, mocking them and blaming me. She stiffened. You're twisting my words, Mom gasped. Anna! Dad frowned. I can't believe this. I continued. That's not all. I showed the messages she had sent Emily, subtly undermining family events and conversations. Emily's eyes glistened. I've seen some of these. Anna's hands shook slightly. This isn't fair. I was just expressing myself. I looked at her calmly. Expressing yourself? Insulting everyone behind my back, twisting events, making me seem incompetent? That's more than expression, she tried to interrupt. You're turning everything into a show. I ignored her, turning to my parents. And there's more. She's tried to manipulate friends, turn them against me, even at gatherings like last week. Dad's jaw tightened. I noticed she was trying to control things, but I didn't want to believe it. Mom's voice shook. I can't believe you would do this, Anna. I trusted you. Anna opened her mouth, but no words came out. She was speechless for the first time. I continued, showing a photograph she had taken secretly, trying to make me look careless during a family project. And here's her attempt to twist reality, making it look like I failed. Emily leaned forward. I can't believe she did this. Anna's voice trembled. It's not what you think. I was trying to help. I shook my head slowly. Help by isolating me? Undermining my family? Mocking me to friends? That's not help, Anna. That's betrayal. Her eyes darted around the room, looking for support. There was none. Only disappointment and hurt. You've been lying, manipulating, and pretending for weeks, I said softly but firmly. And now everyone sees it. Mom's voice was quiet, cutting through the tension. We trusted you, Anna, and this breaks our hearts. Anna's face flushed with panic. I didn't mean to. I wanted harmony. I sighed. Harmony? This is not harmony. This is deceit. And every attempt you made to control how we see me, to isolate me, has been exposed. Emily whispered to me softly. I'm so proud of you for handling this calmly. I nodded, grateful for her support. I've learned something through this. Patience is more powerful than anger. Calm observation beats impulsive confrontation every time. Anna's hands shook on the table. Please, don't make this bigger than it is. I can explain. Dad's voice was steady, final. No explanation can undo this, Anna. The proof is here and the trust you've broken. It's too late, Mom added, her voice trembling but strong. We wanted to believe in you, but your actions speak louder than words. I looked at Anna, finally free from the fear of her manipulations. You thought you were winning, that I'd remain blind. But patience, observation, and truth have brought clarity. You can't hide behind lies anymore. She tried to speak again, stammering, but her arrogance had crumbled. I never meant, I thought. I shook my head. Intentions don't matter here. The outcome does. And the outcome is your isolation, Anna. The truth revealed. Karma in motion. Emily reached for my hand under the table, squeezing it gently. You stayed strong. I've never seen anyone handle this with such control. I exhaled slowly, finally feeling the weight lift from my chest. Liam's advice echoed in my mind. Patience is power. Let truth expose the lies. Anna sat, stunned, her defenses gone. No more whispers, no more subtle smiles. Only the cold reality of her own making. I looked at my family, supportive, relieved, aligned. My integrity intact, my composure steady. I didn't need revenge through anger. Truth had done it all. Tonight the scales had finally tipped, and I could finally breathe again, knowing that the person I trusted most had been unmasked, not through confrontation alone, but through careful observation, patience, and quiet strength. The first family dinner without Anna felt surreal. The house smelled like Mom's cooking, warm and familiar. Laughter echoed around the table, and I realized how much I had missed this simple joy. Emily leaned toward me, whispering, I can't believe it's finally quiet. I smiled softly. It is. And it feels right. It feels like home again. Dad looked across the table. It's good to have you here without tension. Things feel normal. I've missed this, I admitted, glancing at Mom. I didn't realize how much I let her presence overshadow everything. Mom nodded, eyes glistening. We all did. But it's finally over, thanks to your patience and courage. I took a deep breath, reflecting on the past weeks, the lies, the subtle manipulations, the whispers that tried to isolate me. The heartbreak had been sharp, but tonight it was tempered by relief and triumph. Emily passed me the bread. So, what's next for you? She asked quietly. I chuckled. I think I focus on rebuilding, on enjoying these moments. I've learned patience is stronger than anger. Observing rather than reacting, it's liberating, she smiled. And you've gained so much respect from everyone. We all saw what you went through and how you handled it. I nodded, feeling a warmth in my chest. It wasn't easy. There were nights I questioned everything. My trust, my judgment, even myself. But seeing the truth emerge, it was worth every moment of uncertainty. Dad cleared his throat, looking at me with pride. We've always believed in you, but the way you managed this... Calmly, strategically. It shows real strength, I shifted in my seat. Strength, patience, restraint. I learned that even betrayal has lessons if you're willing to pay attention and act wisely. It's not revenge that matters, it's integrity and letting truth take its course. Mom reached across the table, squeezing my hand. You've grown so much. I hope you see that. We all see that, I smiled, overwhelmed by the love surrounding me. I do. And it feels right. I've fought my battles, but I haven't lost my soul. That counts for more than any victory. Emily leaned back, sipping her water. I have to say, seeing Anna now, knowing she's isolated and realizing the damage she caused, it's satisfying, isn't it? I chuckled softly. It is. But it's not gloating. It's just a sense of justice. Karma, finally in motion, silently doing its work. She nodded knowingly. I'm proud of you. You stayed calm, observed, and let her expose herself without sinking to her level. I took a moment to let that sink in. I've learned the value of patience, yes, but also the importance of allies. You, Emily, Liam, and even small moments with my parents. They reminded me that trust and loyalty outweigh deceit. That's a lesson I'll carry forever. Liam had called earlier, and I remembered our conversation vividly. You've handled this brilliantly. Let her unravel naturally. That's victory. I whispered it to myself now, a quiet affirmation. Victory doesn't have to be loud. Sometimes silence is the loudest statement. Mom laughed lightly, breaking the reflective mood. Well, it's nice to have laughter back at the table. You've brought us peace again. I looked around, smiling. It's more than peace. It's clarity. The chaos is gone, and I can finally enjoy my family without fear of manipulation or false words. Emily leaned forward, grinning. Do you think she'll ever understand what she lost? I shook my head slowly. Maybe not. And that's fine. Understanding isn't necessary for justice to work. Sometimes people realize too late, and that in itself is the consequence. Dad chuckled softly. I guess patience really does pay off. You've taught us all a lesson in calm strength, I exhaled, feeling the weight of weeks lift. It's a lesson I learned the hard way. Heartbreak, betrayal, and humiliation were my teachers, but through them, I found resilience, strategy, and the ability to stay composed. Emily reached across and squeezed my hand again. And you've shown us all that true strength isn't about confrontation or anger. It's about knowing when to wait and when to act. I smiled, grateful. Exactly. And watching my family support their trust, it's irreplaceable. That's what matters. Mom looked at me, her voice soft but steady. I hope you also see that you didn't lose yourself, even in the middle of all this. You kept your integrity. I nodded, eyes misting slightly. I did. And that's more important than any revenge. Watching Anna unravel silently, knowing I acted with integrity. It's the peace I'll carry, Emily whispered. Do you think you'll ever forgive her? I considered it for a moment. Forgiveness. Maybe eventually. But right now, it's not about forgiving. It's about acknowledging what happened, learning from it, and moving forward without bitterness. Dad raised his glass. To our family. And to the strength to face anything together. I clinked my glass softly. To family, integrity, and patience. Laughter filled the room, genuine and light. Stories, jokes, and memories returned to their rightful place. I realized that these moments, simple, authentic, and full of warmth, were my true victory. Not exposing Anna, not proving a point, but reclaiming life, love, and trust. Later, as we cleared the table, I glanced out the window at the night sky. Calm, quiet, infinite. I felt a sense of closure settle over me. The turmoil was gone. Anna's schemes were exposed, her isolation complete, and my family's bond stronger than ever. Emily walked beside me, nudging my shoulder. You did it. You really did it. I did, I said softly. Not with rage, but with patience. Not with shouting, but with observation. And now, peace, Mom's voice called from the kitchen. Dinner was perfect. Thank you, everyone, for bringing us back to this. I smiled genuinely. It wasn't just the dinner, Mom. It was all of us together. Stronger, wiser, and free from deceit. Emily squeezed my hand once more. This is the beginning of something better. I can feel it. I nodded, feeling hope bloom inside me. The past was behind me, and the future. Well, it was ours to shape. No lies, no manipulation, just trust, love, and family. And for the first time in a long time, I felt completely at peace at the table,